Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Ross Alex here. And you know, anybody that's in business, entrepreneurship, whatever it is that you're doing, you're focused on your game, focused on your hustle, your grind, right? The grit. You're going to come to a point, my friends, you're going to come to a point in your game where you plateau. Okay? You plateau. You reach that high ground, and you stay at that high ground. And a lot of times when people get to that high ground, they don't even realize that they're at the plateau for maybe weeks, months. Sometimes people even take years before they realize that, hey, holy shit, I plateaued. I haven't grown. I haven't done anything bigger. I had all these big goals and these dreams, and yeah, I achieved success. I did things I wanted to do. I accomplished a lot of the goals that I set out for myself, but I didn't hit the big goals. I didn't hit the lifestyle that I dreamed of, right? I was on the path. I was doing great. At least I thought I was doing great. What happened, right? What happened? Why did I stop growing exponentially, right? Why did I stop growing at a very high rate of speed? Okay, and some of you are dealing with this right now. I've dealt with it. I'll tell you straight up. I've dealt with it. I've plateaued in my game. It happens. It definitely happens. It will happen. It continues to happen. But you need to know what to do when you plateau, because if you stay at the plateau, there's nowhere for you to go. And a lot of times, my friends, when people hit that plateau, they end up coming back down. And you don't want to come back down. I don't want you to come back down. I don't want to come back down myself. So you need to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success, and you're making progress forward. Okay, you're making progress forward. And one of the biggest things that you can do, okay, to avoid the plateau, or if you already did hit a plateau, one of the biggest things you can do to get out of it and keep progressing forward and upward is to be bold and shake shit up. Okay? Shake shit up and be bold and do something that you haven't done before. Okay? Because a lot of times, my friends, when people plateau, they plateau because they get comfortable. They get comfortable. They reach complacency, where they're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. And yeah, it may get them results, but it's the same results over and over and over again. And then the results just start to slow down. And results can slow down for a number of reasons, right? Things change. Markets change. It happens. Like, a lot of gurus don't talk about this, but stuff changes. It happens. It comes with business. Trends aren't always hot. Trends are replaced all the time. Markets are changed all the time. The market has different cycles, right? One of the best examples of seeing somebody who's really about that entrepreneurial life is not seeing how they're doing in an up market, but seeing how they're doing in a down market, right? When things are tough. But like I said, shake the game, be bold, do something different, take a bigger risk. So many people don't get what they want out of life because they don't take risks. They're afraid to take risks. They constantly sheer away from taking risk. And in business, you have to take risk. If you look at the companies that are gazelles, right? The gazelle companies, the elephant companies, companies that do $100 million plus, $1 billion plus a year. These gazelle companies, take a look at the risks that they have taken to get there. You know, I was reading a book today, Scaling Up, Rockefeller Secrets. Great book. Put it up on my Instagram. I've actually read it once. Was reading it again today. And we're talking about how the biggest companies in the world, the elephant companies, took 25 years to get there. So think about how many times one of those companies could have plateaued, right, to get to where they are at today, right? We're talking about the Apples, the Amazons, the Googles. It happens, okay? And I see people get shorted out from the business world, they get chewed up and spit out all the time because they reach that level of comfort where they feel so entitled that they don't have to take risks anymore. And I don't want that to be you. I don't want you to fall into that category. So if you feel right now that you aren't growing, okay, if you feel right now that your income is not growing, your revenue is not growing, your team is not growing, how can you be bolder? How can you take a bigger risk? How can you innovate? How can you shake the game? Ask yourself those questions, because if you don't, and you're going down that plateau, you're going to end up going all the way back down to where you started at. And you don't want that for yourself. I don't want that for you. So make sure that you do not plateau. Listen, friends, I've been in business for 6 years. Okay, 6 years. The average business, the average startup fails in its first year. 95% of businesses get sorted out and fail within their first year. 50% of businesses, and that stat may even be higher now, 50% of businesses flunk out in 5 years. Okay? Swallow that pill. And it doesn't matter how good you are or how good you think you are. That's just the truth. It's the stats. The stats don't lie. All right? So if you haven't been in business for over 5 years, you need to pay very close attention to this. And if you have been in business for over 5 years, you're not immune to this either. You need to make sure that you're staying ahead of the curve, okay? And you're constantly innovating. So ask yourself those questions tomorrow when you show up at your office or wherever you work from. How can I do things bigger? It's one of my biggest regrets. One of my biggest regrets, if you were to ask me, was when I got started, I didn't think big enough. I bought a house for $65,000, sold it for $110,000, did another deal a few months later, and another deal a few months later after that. I didn't think big enough, okay? I didn't think big enough. I bought one house every couple of months, right? Every quarter, I would buy a house, right? And then I realized, hey, I'm playing a small game here. I can be buying a house every week, right? Why not? The same strategies apply. And if I could buy a house a week, I could buy a house every day, right? And that's just me and my real estate game. This applies to whatever business you're in. How can you think bigger? The people that get rewarded the most in life are the people that take the biggest risks, the people that are the boldest. And look, I know it's frightening. I understand it's terrifying. Trust me, I'm terrified pretty much 7 days a week. I get it, okay? I get it. But big risk comes big reward. And if you ask yourself at the end of the day, what is the absolute worst that can happen? I mean, honestly, what is the worst that can happen? Truthfully, everybody's going to die one day. Every dog has its day. As morbid and depressing as that sounds, nothing is forever. So when you really look at things, at a macro level, what is the worst thing that can happen? You go out tomorrow, you be bold, you take a risk, you left a live stream, you're fired up, and you fall on your face. It's all good. You get up and you go at it again. Okay, most of these elephant companies out here nowadays, these gazelle companies that do 100 million plus, got told no 100 times. Even I know we have a lot of Grant Cardone, Uncle G supporters. Go listen to Grant Cardone in 2007, 2008. Listen to his stories on how he freaking got literally just his feet swept off the floor, almost fell on his head, right? Was in so much debt, didn't know what to do. It happens. It happens. It comes with the game. But you need to make sure that you're not plateauing. Because I would say personally that plateauing in your business, in your game, is worse than falling on your face and saying to yourself, holy crap, I messed up. I made a mistake. Because you can always get back up. It's really difficult to get out of a plateau once you hit one. So If you appreciated this value, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. I appreciate this. Wherever you're watching it, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TV, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure, again, you don't plateau. Be bold, take risks. My name is Ross Alex. I thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's content. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.